In the first year after marrying the film queen, Luna left behind a journal and a single she had written for her first love, then killed herself. Overnight, the whole internet called me the other woman. I spent my whole youth building her up from nothing, but the journal was full of her love for her first love, Leo. For me, Luna only had hatred. She hated that I got the chance to study abroad at university while Leo had to leave her behind. After a car accident, I was reborn back to the day in college when Luna confessed to me. "Ethan, will you be my boyfriend?" At the last party before graduation, Luna went out and came back, then confessed to me. It was completely unexpected, sudden. Our classmates were surprised and excited, teasing loudly. Luna stood in front of me, the corners of her eyes red. When she looked at me, there was no joy, only bitterness. I snapped back to reality, cold sweat trickling down my temple. The pain of the car crash felt like it hadn't faded. I trembled without meaning to. The woman I'd loved for 8 years, who killed herself a year after we married, left me to endure the entire internet's abuse, even suffered dismemberment because of her. Fortunately, I had been reborn 8 years earlier after my death. My buddy Dylan saw me dazed and grabbed me up. "Ethan, what are you staring at? Haven't you always liked Luna?" Swallowing the surge of excitement and hatred, I refused coldly. "No, I don't like you." A different expression finally flickered across Luna's cool, beautiful face. Seeing her shock and disbelief, I forced down my disgust, pushed past the equally stunned Dylan, and left the private room. "Ethan, what do you mean by this? Haven't you always?" Dylan shouted after me, trying to follow. I glanced back. I didn't know what Luna had said to him, but in the end, he didn't come after me. I was reborn only today. After Luna's journal and single were exposed, her crazed fans sabotaged my car's brake pads to avenge the film queen. During college, she and Leo had an on and off relationship. My affection had been kept secret, only Dylan knew. Today at graduation, I agreed to be with Luna. I pursued further study while supporting her in the entertainment industry for 3 years, until a year into our marriage. After so many years, even a stone should have warmed. Yet on every passionate night, she never kissed me. She remained aloof and distant, never affectionate. She didn't love me. I always knew that. That marriage was merely Luna settling for me once she realized she and Leo had no future. But I never expected she hated me. After Luna died, I flipped through the journal and it was stained. Every page was full of her hatred for me. She blamed me for Leo breaking up with her and going abroad. She thought I took the university study opportunity from him, which separated them. From the start, she had been with me only to make me give up further study and yield to Leo. Yet Leo still went abroad. She attributed it all to me, thinking that being with me drove Leo away. If that's the case, in this life I will stay far away from Luna and no longer meddle in their tangled mess. "Ethan, why did you leave without saying a word to us?" Later, Dylan and the others returned to the dorm. Seeing me looking at my phone, Dylan pulled me toward the balcony. "Ethan, Luna just confessed to you. Why didn't you accept? Haven't you always liked her?" I looked at Dylan and stayed silent for a long while. "What are you staring at me for?" I shook my head. "Didn't I already say? I don't want to be your simp anymore." "How could that be? You've liked Luna for 4 years. You can't just stop liking her like that." Dylan looked incredulous. "They're already broken up. What are you still worrying about? I really can't understand why you didn't accept. She's the campus beauty." I lowered my eyelids and snorted coldly. "Yes, I've liked her for 4 years now. But for 8 whole years, I couldn't warm Luna to me. Would trying again suddenly change that? She never gave me even a shred of dignity before she died. She selfishly made her burning love public, letting everyone witness her and Leo's relationship. She never cared about everything I suffered after her death. Ever since I was cyberbullied, I haven't slept well. I moved several times, but the stalkers always found me soon after. Harassment, terrifying packages, following me, splashing paint. For Luna, her fans would do anything. But Luna never gave those matters a thought. She just wanted to carry her publicly declared love with her into the afterlife with Leo, to be lovers in the underworld. Dylan, do you just want me to be with her? Dylaner's eyes flickered slightly. He couldn't meet my gaze. Of course. Never mind. I won't say more. I'm going to shower. Watching Dylaner leave in such a hurry, the smile left my face. In the 2 days before the accident, I had gone to confront Dylaner. The severity of the cyberbullying I endured couldn't be separated from him. First, my wife killed herself for the person she loved, and then my so-called brother deliberately twisted facts online to incite fans to attack me. I asked him why he'd do such a thing, and he glared at me with hatred. I hate you. Do you know that? If it weren't for you, the graduate study spot would have been mine. You're already the young master of Johnson Entertainment. Why can't you do whatever you want? You had to compete with me for that spot. Dylaner, I put you into my company, and you actually stabbed me in the back. Dylaner looked contemptuous. You think I'd be grateful for your little charity? I despise you kind of rich people who look down on others and think you know everything. You'll never understand the hardships of us poor people. It doesn't matter now. Your mother disowned you a long time ago. All this is your own doing. From now on, Johnson Entertainment will belong to me, Dylaner. If it weren't for that cyberbullying before I died, I would never have known my best friend had betrayed me. In my past life, I treated him as a brother. Even though I had quarreled with my mom, Clara, because I wanted to be with Luna before she became an actress, I still had the nerve to ask my mom to let the failed grad applicant Dylaner into my sister Olivia's company. Later, he courted my sister, and I secretly helped him along. Who would have thought he'd betray me? He even did his part to bring my relationships with my mom and sister down to ice cold. Fortunately, thankfully, I was reborn. This time, Dylaner, without my help, your road will only get harder. Over the next few days, after finishing matters at school, I immediately bought a ticket back to Jing City. Not long after I arrived home, Clara received word from the butler and returned to the villa at once. Ethan's back? Wasn't he busy at school and not coming home for the summer? I shook my head with reddened eyes and let out a short, incredulous laugh. Mom, you don't welcome me back? All right then, I'll go back to school. How could that be? I'm more than happy. Lao Yang, quickly tell Olivia, Ethan's home. Have her come back early tonight. Clara smoothed my hair, hugged me tightly, and kept remarking that I looked much thinner than the last time she saw me. For Clara, the last time we'd met was only a month ago. But for me, it had already been a year. In my previous life, the 3 years of advanced study were no easy feat. I rarely returned to Jing City and instead devoted myself to accompanying Luna to one film crew interview after another and to her dinners. The agency Luna signed with didn't take her seriously. After all, I was the young master of Jing City's entertainment empire and knew something about the film industry. For a long time, I acted more like her manager than her actual manager. Once at a dinner in Jing City, I happened to run into an investment for a drama by Johnson Entertainment. That night, I drank and socialized on Luna's behalf, and Clara's face went dark the whole time. The next day, Clara, who had always valued me greatly, insisted that I break up with Luna. Clara, eyes red with anger, declared, Our family's company is so big. You're not going back to inherit it. And you, the young master of Johnson Entertainment, are out there fawning for people? Are you trying to kill me with worry? That girl isn't right for you. Come back and take over the family business. Your sister and I are getting weaker and weaker. Johnson Entertainment was founded by my father and mother from nothing. A few years ago, my father died in a car accident. My mother and sister held up the family company, keeping it intact and preventing those relatives from gnawing Johnson Entertainment away. My future had already been clearly planned. Someday, I would return to Johnson Entertainment to take over, and my sister and mother could finally breathe easier. But I let love cloud my judgment, and that bastard Dylaner seized the opportunity. Later, I married Luna. By then, Luna had become the youngest Best Actress. My mother reluctantly agreed to our marriage. Still, for that wedding, I had Dylaner deliver the invitations, and in the end, no one from the Johnson family showed up. After staying in Beijing for a few days, I only returned to Jiang City when the school was taking graduation photos. Back at school, I learned that during the days I was away, Luna and Leo's whirlwind romance had progressed. Leo had gone abroad. In the previous life, Leo, angry, had never considered a future with Luna. He quietly prepared to go overseas and break up with her. Then she came to confess to me, trying to coax me into giving up further studies, but ended up pushing Leo even farther away. This time, I didn't interfere, and Leo left the country before they even took the graduation photo. That night, when Luna confessed to me, everyone in the class knew about it. Even before the photographer arrived, people were already coming up to talk to me about it. Hey, Ethan, you wouldn't know, but everyone was there. Leo said Luna's family background is too poor, they're not from the same world and can't plan a future together. Bennett's family would never accept a poor girl like Luna. Well, true, the Leo family runs a hotel business. Besides being pretty, Luna really doesn't measure up. Oh right, Ethan, hurry up and go over. I don't think your family is from Jiang City, are they? You two would actually be a good match. Dylan says you've liked the school beauty for 4 years. Now you don't have to worry about Leo and Luna getting tangled up anymore. The fact that I'm the young master at Johnson Entertainment was something I didn't tell anyone during my 4 years at university, except Dyliner. To my classmates, Luna and I came from similar backgrounds. What they didn't know was that Luna's family background couldn't even compare to the entertainment magnates of Jing City. I shook my head. Why would I want a woman nobody else wants? Who wants to be some simping dog? I'm not a trash can. No sooner had I spoken than the classmates around us drew a cold breath. A few steps away, Luna's face had gone pale, looking as if she were about to cry. Clearly, she must have heard what I said. The other students quickly dispersed, leaving only me standing there. I rubbed my nose and was about to walk off when Luna suddenly blocked my way. Wearing a tight white skirt, she had red-rimmed eyes and looked fragile and helpless. Those black eyes, glistening with tears and edged with a faint anger, stared straight at me in a way I couldn't ignore. I sighed and looked back at her. If it had been in my previous life, I wouldn't have dared to meet her gaze, too shy, too restrained. But after reading those notes, I only felt hatred for Luna. My heart would never beat for her another second. Ethan, you really don't like me? She asked. No, I replied without the slightest hesitation. Luna's expression clearly showed disbelief. Yes, at that time, the notes Luna wrote were filled with arrogance and self-satisfaction. Ethan loves me so much, he's loved me for 4 years. As soon as I confess, he'll say yes. I'll coax him into not pursuing further study, and he'll agree. Ethan, that simp, is ridiculous. He can't possibly think I really like him enough to be with him, right? Once he drops his studies, I'll dump him. Leo, I'll be with you soon. Where would poor Ethan get the money to buy me a bag? It's obviously fake. Having such a poor boyfriend is embarrassing. That simp can't compare to my Leo. Ethan loves me so much, yet he won't give up studying for me? Men never tell the truth. Leo, the first miss you so much. Come back soon. Even if Ethan stays with me in showbiz, I won't fall in love with him. As soon as you return, I'll break up with him. I don't know how many times I've read those notes. Every punctuation mark is imprinted in my mind. Every time I recall them, I feel nauseous. Impossible. Dylan said you've had a crush on me for 4 years. Ethan, are you playing hard to get? She asked. I stared at Luna like she was an idiot. She seemed not to notice my expression and snorted coldly. Give up that idea. I will never like you. You aren't worth even one of Leo's fingers. Are you sick? I took a deep breath, rolled my eyes, and turned to leave. After the graduation photo shoot, university life really came to an end. Everyone went their separate ways, each with their own future. Some started working, some pursued further study, some went abroad, and some like me qualified for advanced study. Not having to work myself to the bone for Luna anymore, I suddenly had nothing to do and felt completely relieved. I finished packing in the dorm, bought a plane ticket back to Jing City, and Dyliner burst into the room. Ethan, why are you leaving so soon? You could have waited for me. Seeing the packed suitcase at my feet and the flight booking page open on the phone beside it, Dyliner looked stunned. Ethan, you're going back to Jing City right now. I didn't answer directly. Dyliner sounded a bit put out. Why are you going back so fast? Didn't we agree you'd hang out with me for a few days? And you said you'd help me look for a job. I was silent for a long moment. It was true. These arrangements had already been made in my previous life. At school, Dyliner was one of the few who knew about my family background. When my mom video chatted with me, Dyliner happened to see it and at first thought I was being kept by some rich woman. He was so surprised his jaw might have swallowed an egg. When he later learned I was the son of an entertainment tycoon in Jing City, he deliberately got close to me. He hadn't qualified for further study and didn't want to endure the hardships, so he wanted me to help. I was soft-hearted and agreed. Ethan, Dyliner's expression changed slightly when he saw me zoning out. I snapped back to myself with a half-smile, half-sneer. Dyliner, you were the one who posted things on the campus social platform, weren't you? I opened a trending post on the platform and handed the phone to Dyliner. It was posted from a new account. Although the whole thing gossiped about Luna and her couple, every single line couldn't help but mention me, a peripheral figure, claiming I'd had a crush on Luna for 4 years. The post had gone viral. Everyone pitted Luna for being dumped and took the chance to mock me as deluded, a backup, a simp, and so on. Ethan, let me explain. I just wanted Luna to know how you feel. You've liked her for so long, and as your good bro, I wanted to see you in the beauty's heart. I scoffed and kicked Dyliner away. You know what you were thinking? I don't want to make things uglier than they already are. Mind yourself. As for a job, a healthy young man with hands and feet can still find work. With that, I pushed my suitcase and walked out of the dorm. Not long after I left, the sound of something shattering and Dyliner's angry curses came from behind me. Reborn into this life, the thing I feel I owe most is my family. After returning home, I took it upon myself to give my mother Clara a vacation, and we went on a trip. We climbed mountains, saw waterfalls, visited grasslands, and even crossed a desert. On the afternoon, we returned to Jing City. Just as we left the airport, we ran into my college classmates Jake and Mason. When they saw me, their expressions were odd. After a while, they recovered and awkwardly greeted me. I found it strange and asked out of curiosity. Jake cleared his throat and, looking embarrassed, said, "Ethan, are you really being kept by a rich woman?" "What?" I was baffled. The two glanced at each other and then began to explain. Apparently, during the month I was traveling, the school had been buzzing with rumors that I was being supported. People were saying that after Luna rejected me, I became despondent and was taken care of by some middle-aged rich woman outside. There were even so-called photos circulating with details. There was also a baseless rumor that my opportunity for further study had been manipulated. The two glanced at my mother Clara, who was getting into a Rolls Royce, and became even more certain. "Ethan, you're still in your prime. Take care of yourself. You can't give up even for the sake of study spot. She could be your mother's age. You're degrading yourself." The school has launched an investigation into your study qualification. If your spot is found to be dubious, it might be passed to someone else. Your parents will hear about it too. You've really messed up. It's not worth it. I stood there stunned for a long while until Clara called, "Ethan," and I came back to myself. "Is there any chance that this is my mom?" I sighed. "What? Ethan, your family isn't poor? You're rich second generation?" the two said incredulously. I grit my teeth and asked one last question. "Will my study spot be given to Dyliner?" After getting in the car, Clara saw my unhappy expression and asked why. When she learned that I was being slandered at school as being kept, she flew into a rage and wanted to turn the car around and fly to Jiang City to teach those who bullied me a lesson. I talked her down. In the end, we couldn't go back home, and we headed straight back to the airport. Accompanying me was my mother's secretary, Emma. Clara couldn't break away and lend Emma to me, because we were buying last-minute tickets to Jiang City. The only available seats were in the VIP cabin. Emma and I had to sit separately. As soon as I took my seat, the woman in the adjacent seat opened her eyes and glanced at me. I muttered an apology and took the chance to look at her. She had shoulder-length wavy hair, wore a fitted black short professional suit, Her long legs crossed naturally, and she exuded an alluring fragrance. She gave a slight nod. Her cool face softened for a moment before she resumed staring intently at me. I frowned at the awkwardness and, seeing she was still looking, asked, "Do we know each other, miss?" The woman tossed her curls, and her red lips brushed past my cheek. "Don't you remember me?" "Miss, a pickup line like that is a little cliché, isn't it?" The woman froze. A trace of sadness passed over her gorgeous face. I stared at her, trying to remember where I'd seen that face before. "You disgusting scumbag, clingy fool. You've forgotten me completely after just a few years." She was half angry, half laughing. I was stunned, then burst out, "Sophia, you're orangey? You're back in country." "Oomph, you rotten man. You even said you'd marry me back then. And now you've forgotten me completely." Sophia spoke with a tone half teasing, half resentful. Her cheeks flushed. "That's right. Fate is strange like that." Sophia and I hadn't seen each other in years, yet we ran into each other on the plane. Sophia, my sister Olivia's classmate, was also our neighbor and the one who mooched meals from us. We grew up bickering and making a racket together. Clara was busy with work, so I stuck to my sister from a young age. Wherever my sister went, I went, hence Sophia's nickname for me as a tag-along. In the years after Dad passed, my sister and I stayed at Margaret's house. In other words, Sophia and I were practically childhood sweethearts. Back then, Sophia was a bit short and often bullied, nicknamed Shorty. I always stood up for her and chased off those bullies. That line about me marrying her came because someone once insulted Sophia, saying she'd be unable to marry because she was so short. Sophia cried as she fed me snacks. I panicked and blurted, "Orangey, if you can't get married, I'll marry you. You won't be unwanted." Later, when we were 15, Sophia's family moved abroad, and we lost touch over the years. I never expected we'd meet again now. The short girl from back then had become. My gaze slipped past Sophia's long legs, then I moved away and took off my jacket to drape it over her legs. In my previous life, I never saw Sophia again before I died. It seems my rebirth has changed many things. Sophia glanced at me and said softly, "What? You scumbag. Do you have a girlfriend now?" Her tone was inexplicably sour and plaintive. I shook my head, but out of the corner of my eye saw Sophia purse her lips and the corner of her mouth lift slightly. My brow twitched, and I quickly changed the subject. "Orangey, when did you come back to the country? Why didn't you contact us? My sister and I could have thrown you a welcome back party. I've been back a few days. I planned to finish up some things before contacting you, but who knew?" Sophia's eyes were bright, and a smile played at her mouth, as if trying to melt me. My heart gave a jolt, and a thought flashed through my mind. Sophia seemed not to notice my evasiveness, and continued with a smile. "A friend asked me to give a lecture at Jiangxing University." "Ethan, what brought you to Jiangxing?" The surprise of reuniting with an old friend was instantly dimmed. My face fell, and a cruel light flashed in my eyes. "Orangey, I just graduated from Jiangxing University, but this trip back is to settle some business. Some people, if spared, don't know better and will bring about their own end." Seeing my bad expression, Sophia didn't press further. For the next hour, we didn't talk, and I accidentally fell asleep. When I opened my eyes again, Sophia was sleeping on my shoulder, her curls brushing against me and a beguiling scent in the air. I sat there dazed, surprised I could sleep so well on a plane. Ever since my rebirth, my sleep hasn't been great. I was afraid it was all fake, just a dream. Afraid that when I woke up nothing would have changed and I'd be back in that online mobbing, like a rat everyone wanted to kill, only daring to go out through the sewers. "Ethan, sorry, did I lean on you?" Sophia stuck out her tongue, her cheeks flushed with embarrassment. After leaving the airport, Sophia didn't come with us. After exchanging overseas social contacts with her, Emma and I headed straight to Jiangxing University. Inside the university president's office in Jiang City, a sharp voice came from within. "Principal, a student who doesn't respect themselves and has bad intentions like this must be expelled. Otherwise, what if other good kids copy them? This unhealthy trend has to be rooted out at the source. My steps halted and a sneer spread across my mouth. Isn't that Mr. Carter who's always looking down on me? Mr. Carter's son also studies at Jiang City University. My grades are excellent. I've earned scholarships year after year. There are only so many spots in a department, and his son has always been beaten out by me. His pride was wounded, yet he couldn't do anything about it, so he's been making trouble for me publicly and privately. Now that I've suddenly crashed, apart from Dyliner, he's probably the happiest of all. Bang! With a crash, I pushed open the president's office door. The two inside turned in alarm. Seeing me, Mr. Carter jumped up and went on the offensive with accusations. Ethan, do you even know how to behave? Don't you knock before entering a teacher's office? Principal, kick this kind of student out immediately. If news gets out, our Jiang City University's century-old reputation will be ruined by Ethan. I gave Mr. Carter a cool glance. Leaping to conclusions before the facts are clear, Mr. Carter, you really opened my eyes. Mr. Carter seethed, fury written all over him, his eyes flashing angrily. There are pictures and proof. I think you're being kept is a done deal. As for that advanced study qualification, HM, it's probably from an improper source. I snorted coldly and said nothing else, instead shooting a look at Emma beside me. Emma stepped forward, face serious. Principal, the kept rumors that have been spreading around your school these past few days have caused great distress to our Mr. Johnson. Ms. Johnson is furious. This matter will not be allowed to drop easily. Our lawyers are on their way and will jointly sue these people. Also, regarding Mr. Johnson's advanced study qualification, since the school can't find a result to clear Mr. Johnson, members of the Johnson family are willing to conduct a thorough investigation ourselves. If it turns out Mr. Johnson has been wronged, we hope the principal can restore his name. Seeing Emma's decisive manner, the principal's temples broke out in a cold sweat. He hurriedly stood and asked cautiously, "May I ask who this Miss Johnson you mentioned is?" "Clara, chairwoman of Johnson Entertainment in Jing City." The principal's eyes widened, and when his gaze swept to me, his voice trembled. "So Ethan is the young master of Johnson Entertainment, the only son of Ms. Johnson, the future sole heir of Johnson Entertainment." The principal immediately became deferential. His attitude toward me changed completely, and he cooperated fully with what Emma had said. As for Mr. Carter, upon learning my true identity, he stood there stunned. Then, as if remembering something, he suddenly hurried out. When I left the principal's office, it was already an hour later. During that hour, all the posts about me on the school's social platforms have been taken down. I had no intention of continuing to hide that I was the heir of Johnson Entertainment, so I had Emma make it public. Hiding it accomplished nothing. This was the result, so it was better to announce it openly to the world, rather than wrong myself. I'd make things difficult for others. But before Emma and I could even leave the school, someone stopped us. It wasn't just anyone. It was Luna, whom I hadn't seen in over a month. "Is there something you need? Time may heal everything." After more than a month, seeing Luna again, I could look at her calmly, as if she were a stranger. Even so, I wouldn't forget the harm she caused me in my last life. We had loved deeply once. That love is gone now, but the hatred of being unable to forget remains. "Ethan, so you really are the heir of Johnson Entertainment?" I nodded and admitted it openly. In my last life, I never told Luna about my identity. At first, I didn't want to burden her. Later, I didn't tell her because I had severed ties with the Johnson family and never mentioned it again. Unexpectedly, Luna's face turned furious in an instant. "So it was you, right? Did you interfere?" Emma immediately stepped in front of Luna. "Miss, please calm down. If you act rashly, Ms. Johnson will not let anyone who bullies Mr. Johnson off the hook." Luna was pushed aside by Emma, then respectfully addressed me. "Mr. Johnson, shall I be going?" I nodded, but after taking only a few steps, I stopped again. I didn't really want any more entanglement with Luna, but I was more curious about what she had meant by her comment. "Luna, what did you mean by what you just said?" "Ethan, don't play dumb. It must have been you. Otherwise, why would Johnson Entertainment plan to sign me and then change their mind halfway through? Were you the one who sabotaged it? Luna's face had gone pale. That cold, beautiful face had turned somewhat hideous in expression. I stared for a long time. Looking at her now stirred no heartbeat in me, only a bit of disgust. That face had been praised as goddess-like in my previous life, driving countless men crazy, the object of their dreams. When Luna announced her marriage, the internet was full of malice toward me, her mysterious husband. Luna, I didn't do anything. I never interfere with company matters. I sighed. In the last life, Luna chose to develop her career in the entertainment industry in part because of Leo. This life, I hadn't expected Luna to enter the film industry again. But it doesn't matter anymore. Without me, Luna's path will only be harder. After leaving Luna behind, I didn't leave Jiangxing University. After I sent Emma away, I went to the university auditorium. Even before I entered, I could hear a gentle voice amplified by the microphone from inside the hall, like a spring breeze that moistens everything quietly. I slipped in quietly and sat in the last row. Sophia had a great figure and a striking, cold beauty. Even a slight frown from her sent the male students at the lecture into a frenzy. After the talk ended, several boys gathered around Sophia, asking for her contact information on overseas social apps. I leaned against the nearby door and waited silently. When Sophia saw me, she tilted her chin toward me. If you have questions, you can add that male student's contact. He'll organize them for me. Sophia nodded at the disappointed female students, pushed through the crowd, and came over to me. Been waiting long? I shook my head and half joked. Not really. Professor Sophia's lecture was very rewarding. Sophia glared at me. Then with a soft, boneless little hand, she lightly patted my shoulder. Ethan, you're just as naughty as when you were little. Professor Sophia, what's your relationship with Ethan? You two wouldn't. Lately, I've become something of a public figure at Jiangxing University, and I hadn't exactly been hiding my identity. Quite a few people in the auditorium recognized me. Seeing how familiar I was with Sophia, I could feel countless eyes on me. Ethan and I. Sophia paused, glanced at me as if unconcerned. I took the initiative to explain, smiling playfully. Professor Sophia and I are childhood friends. Sophia froze for a moment. A flash of disappointment crossed her face. Then, as if nothing had happened, she led me out of the auditorium. Emma truly is my mother's capable aide. She handles things in a way that saves me a lot of worry and is also swift. 2 days later, Emma brought the folder to me. Mr. Johnson, we've uncovered what happened. I didn't rush to open the folder. I sighed. It was Dylan, right? Do whatever needs to be done. Don't be merciful. Some people don't deserve forgiveness. It was so in my last life, and it's the same in this one. Emma shook her head. Mr. Johnson, this wasn't done by Dylan. I turned my head, shocked. Not Dylan? How is that possible? I had seen the photos that went viral on social media. If my guess was correct, they were taken about half a year ago. I remembered that time clearly. Clara came to Jiangxing City on a business trip, but she had official duties and couldn't pick me up, so she had Emma drive to pick me up after class. Dylan was there that day too, and the angle of those photos made it obvious they could only have been taken by him. Could it be? I immediately opened the folder. The first page inside was the IP address of the account that first posted the rumors about me, pulled by Emma using Johnson Entertainment's PR team. Seeing that the address was located at Jiangxing City University did not surprise me. But when I saw Mr. Carter's name on the second page, I paused. There was a feeling of both the expected and the unexpected. A few days ago, Mr. Carter had spoken forcefully in the principal's office, insisting principal deal with me. In that light, it wasn't so strange. Still, how would he have those photos? Mr. Johnson, Daniel's actions have already harmed your right to reputation. With the evidence we currently have, we can sue him. What do you think, Mr. Johnson? Although the charge isn't severe enough to put Daniel in jail, Ms. Johnson is very upset. We can certainly ruin his reputation and get him fired. Emma's words pull me back to the present. I pondered for a long moment. Sue him. Don't hold back. Do whatever needs to be done. Reborn. I refuse to suffer any more grievances. Those who bully me will pay, one by one. Daniel is no exception. Half a month later, Daniel found me. He was completely different from the arrogant, overbearing figure who had been in the principal's office 2 weeks earlier. Clara had pressured him. Daniel had taken on a lawsuit, and Jiangxing University had long since expelled him, dragging his son down so that he couldn't hold his head up at Jiangxing University either. Ethan, please spare me. Spare my son. It was all my doing. It has nothing to do with my son. Please don't ruin my son. I don't even have a job anymore. Are you satisfied now? Have some mercy. Leave a way out so we can meet peacefully in the future. Daniel looked 10 years older, his hair tied messily, dark circles under his eyes. Who knows how long he'd gone without sleep. There was none of his former arrogance left. In front of me, he was like an ant, easily controlled. Mr. Carter, did you ever imagine this day when you tried to ruin me back then? I kicked Daniel in the face, expressionless, then stepped on his fingers and ground down hard. Seeing Daniel gasp from the pain, I sneered. Rumors and slander can easily destroy a person. I'm about the same age as your son. Mr. Carter, why didn't you have a soft heart and let me go back then? Now it's all your own doing. Please spare me. Daniel sobbed, snot and tears everywhere, his free hand reaching to grab my trouser leg. I pushed him away with disgust. What filth! Who told you could touch my pants? Can you even afford these pants, Mr. Carter? Daniel cried without answering, only begging. After a moment, I finally said slowly, those photos probably weren't taken by you. Were they? Who sent them to you? Daniel's pleas halted. I don't know. Someone sent them anonymously to my email, saying you were being kept, implying your qualifications were. I'd never. I let out a cold laugh. Sold out and still counting the money, Mr. Carter, you're even dumber than I thought. Daniel lunged at me, his expression wild and vicious. Who is that person? Who wanted to harm me? A flash of cold light crossed my eyes. Let them destroy each other while I sit back and collect the spoils. What could be wrong with that? I never saw Daniel again after that. I only heard that Daniel was convicted of intentional injury and sentenced to several years. As for Dylan, it was said his leg was pierced by a knife. The rest of his life would be ruined, and he could only use a crutch. Classmates who had been on good terms with Dylan visited him twice, and after that there was no more news about him. Whether he was still in Jiangxing City or had gone elsewhere is unknown for now. I was extremely satisfied with how things turned out. Daniel paid the price she deserved, and Dylan did too. Most importantly, Dylan was now disabled and probably couldn't be involved with my sister like in the previous life. In the past life, for Luna's career, I attended Johnson Entertainment's annual party and happened to bring Dylan along. Somehow, Dylan had a one-night fling with my sister Olivia. After that night, Dylan said he had fallen for my sister and would take responsibility. I softened. My sister hadn't had it easy these years, and I knew Dylan well, so I tried to match them. But what a bastard he was. He had no good intentions at all, and I had brought a wolf into the house. Now that I've been reborn, thinking about the mess I caused before makes me want to slap myself hard. Fortunately, none of that will happen again. With everything settled, September arrived quietly, and I prepared to start a new life. However, a week into the semester, I still froze on the spot when I saw a familiar figure enter behind my graduate advisor. Sophia? How would she be here? After that day, Sophia had said she would stay in Jiangxing City for 2 days. But the next day, she left in a hurry and went abroad. We hadn't been in much contact over the summer, so I didn't expect Sophia to sneak back. I ignored the secret winks Sophia threw me and turned my head away. After the advisor introduced Sophia as a visiting professor, he dismissed us. 2 classmates tried to pull me to lunch, but I didn't have time to answer them. Footsteps came up behind us quickly. Ethan, the 2 classmates stopped first, flushed and nervous as Sophia greeted us. Ethan, we'll go eat next time. We're leaving now. They winked at me and quickly left me behind. I snorted in displeasure. Someone came back and didn't even tell an old friend like me. Showed up without a word at Jiangxing University. Sophia's expression changed slightly, something flashing quickly across her face, but she soon recovered. My bad, Ethan. I didn't tell you because I wanted to surprise you. Let me take you out to something delicious, okay? Consider my apology. At the dinner table, I only then learned that Sophia had originally planned to return to the country to build her career. She had left these past few days because Margaret got sick and rushed back. When Sophia went to pay after the meal, I silently watched her go, lost in thought. With Sophia's achievements now, so many companies had extended offers to her, yet she had chosen to join Jiangchang City University, which wasn't really the best fit. The reason was obvious. What are you thinking about? I was staring into space, frowning. When I came back to myself, Sophia was smiling gently at me, her long fingers idly moving in front of my face, a lock of hair brushing my nose, tickling. My heart stirred, but I still shook my head. Over the next half-month, whenever Sophia came to teach at Jiangcheng City University, she would drag me out, claiming she wanted me to show her around. It felt like things had gone back to the way they were. Around a short St. Valentine's holiday, we went back to Jing City together. My sister and I gathered friends in the circle and held a proper welcome banquet for Sophia to celebrate her return. Since being reborn, I rarely drank. Last life, at this time I was either busy with school or attending banquets with Luna. Often for Luna's sake, I drank a lot at those events. I frequently forgot to eat, and over the years my stomach suffered. Before marrying Luna, at the banquet where she decided her career-making film, I drank straight into the hospital. I caused a gastric hemorrhage. This time, perhaps because I was happy to escape that fate, or for some other reason, I drank lightly. Near the end of the party, I was dozing on the sofa, squinting, and saw my sister seeing people out. I closed my eyes again. Ethan, your phone is ringing. A rustling beside me. Sophia nudged my shoulder. I pushed back reflexively and pulled Sophia into my arms. Ethan, the woman in my embrace, suddenly quieted. After trying to push me away, twice she obediently stayed against me. This person's called a few times. It must be important. Ethan, you should answer it. I impatiently squinted and tossed the phone into Sophia's hand. Then you pick it up. Who's calling so late? Sophia lowered her gaze. On the phone screen, the single contact name read Chloe, and a flash of cold crossed her eyes. She answered quickly. Ethan, don't you like me? I agreed to be with you, but don't think I really like you. I'm with you on condition that you get me signed with Johnson Entertainment. Sophia tightened her grip on the phone. The drunkenness in her eyes faded, replaced by a chill. Ethan is sleeping. Don't call to disturb us. A sharp, shrill voice, Luna's, came through. Who are you? What's your relationship with him? Bitch, how can you be with Ethan so late? The shriek cut off abruptly, and immediately there was a loud bang from the other end of the line. When I woke from my hangover, it was already nearly noon the next day. Going downstairs, I saw Sophia sitting in our house. I wasn't very surprised. Ethan, Sophia called after me with some gravity, her expression hesitant. Morning, orangey. Ethan, someone called for you last night. They got into a car accident on the way. I paused. The matter seemed vaguely familiar. I had been so drunk last night that I was unconscious. I'd apparently asked Sophia to take a call for me. I walked over, opened my phone, and went straight to the call log. Ethan, who is she? The woman I answered last night was so excited. Your girlfriend? Sophia looked at me with a wronged face, a faint tint of jealousy in her tone. Not someone important. I quietly deleted the record and composed myself. In my past life, when I still loved her deeply, I probably would have rushed off without a second thought. But now, in this life, we were long done. I glanced up and caught the slight upward curl at the corner of Sophia's mouth. Still, sometimes if I don't go looking for trouble, trouble finds me. Near noon, Luna called again. Sophia listened, glanced at the phone sitting nearby. Ethan, why don't you pick it up? She seemed to have something important to tell you last night. Yeah, excuse me a moment. As I left, Sophia froze, grit her teeth, and threw down her cutlery in frustration, rubbing the ends of her hair and muttering under her breath. You really answered her call? Ha, disgusting man. Couldn't you have answered in front of me? I didn't hear that, By then, I'd already picked up and spoke coldly into the phone. What is it? The voice on the other end sounded displeased. Ethan, what time is it now? I was in a car accident and you're not coming to take care of me? Bring me some Jinwich food when you come. I'm starving. My eyes widened and a chill spread through my feet. Jinwich was the restaurant I used to often buy meals from for Luna in my past life. They only sold 200 tables a day. To make Luna happy, no matter how hard it was, I would get her food from there. In this life we hadn't. Could it be? I took a deep breath. Luna, if you want food, you can order delivery. I'm not your errand boy. There was a long silence. Then her impatience flared. Ethan, where are you playing at? Come to the People's Hospital right now. If you don't show up within half an hour, don't blame me for breaking up with you. Luna, get straight. When was I ever with you? Did that car crash knock your brain loose too? Huh. Do you take me for your lapdog? A pained wail suddenly sounded on the line. I pulled the receiver away. When she stopped crying out, I put the phone back to my ear. Ethan, are you back too? Luna's voice was like something caught in her throat. Weak, hoarse, with a trace of lingering fear. I felt a jolt in my chest, blurted, "Are you sick or what?" and hung up quickly. I realized Luna might have been reborn back like me because of that car accident. All day I'd been a bit out of sorts. I looked apologetically at Sophia, who had called my name at least 5 times because I was spacing out. Orangey, I'm not feeling very well. I'll head home in a bit, Sophia pouted, then said, Okay, let's go back together. I rode home in Sophia's car. Before long, the hospital called. Is this Mr. Ethan? I answered, and the voice on the other end sounded a little helpless. Here's the thing. Your girlfriend Luna was in a car accident last night. She only just woke up and is out of danger. Could you come to the People's Hospital? There are some things we need to tell you in person. The voice wasn't loud, but Sophia, who was driving, clearly heard it and looked over. She said nothing. Her expression darkened, and a dark current flashed at her eyes. Sorry, I'm not Luna's boyfriend. Mr. Johnson, little quarrels are normal between couples. If you're having a spat now, fine, but with someone's life on the line, put everything else aside. Ms. Moore's situation is complicated. I suggest you come in. But I was about to refuse when the nurse interrupted. When Ms. Moore was unconscious, she kept calling your name. She still got you in her heart. Quarrels are settled by the bedside. Come quickly. I had no choice but to put the phone down. When I looked up, the car had somehow pulled over to the side of the road. Sophia's gorgeous face showed displeasure. She looked at me with wounded resentment. Before I knew it, she had unbuckled her seatbelt and leaned toward me. Ethan, warm breath hit my face. Her red lips hovered just a few centimeters from mine. If she moved forward a little, she could press them together. Curls around her ear brushed against me. Ethan, who is that woman? Really? If she isn't your girlfriend, why does she keep hanging on to you? Sophia's lips moved 2 centimeters closer, jealousy clearly visible in her eyes. Ethan, have you been distracted all day thinking about her? Are you going to say yes to being her boyfriend? I was puzzled. Before I could finish the next sentence, Sophia, looking displeased, grabbed my head and pressed her lips to mine. It was as if she were truly afraid I'd answer with something she didn't want to hear. Don't ever do something dangerous like that again, understand? This time is a warning. Next time you'll get a ticket. I nodded heavily. After watching the traffic officer walk away, I glared at Sophia, who was smiling brightly beside me. Seeing her smile sheepishly made my mouth ache slightly. You smiling, happy about losing money? I teased. Ethan, I gave you my first kiss. You have to take responsibility. Sophia hooked her arm through mine, pressing her upper body tightly against my arm. You kissed me. I'm not calling you a pervert, so consider yourself lucky. I pulled her in my arms. She didn't struggle. Instead, she pressed even closer. Anyway, I don't care. Ethan, I'm your girlfriend now. She poked my chest, her warm breath fanning over me. Fine, you my girlfriend, happy now? I said. Sophia's face lit up. That's more like it. If you don't agree, I'll keep kissing you until you do. You scumbag, you stole my first kiss. You'd better be responsible. I widened my eyes and helplessly patted Sophia. You were the one who kissed me. I'm the one at a disadvantage, orangey. How can you turn it around on me? Sophia said with a wicked smile. Why don't you kiss me back then? In the end, I still didn't refuse Sophia. To be honest, over these past days we'd shared many moments. Such a beautiful woman flirting with me. I couldn't help but be moved. But the painful memories from my past life lingered. Once bitten by a snake, you fear rope for 10 years. If Sophia hadn't taken the initiative, I might have stayed a hiding turtle. After our teasing and bickering, we returned to the car. Sophia's displeasure at my plan to go to the hospital was written all over her face. Her hands clenched the steering wheel so tight it creaked. I'm not going alone. You're coming with me, all right? Sophia snorted. She didn't say more, but quietly changed the navigation route toward the People's Hospital. Half an hour later, the two of us arrived outside the ward. Through the glass on the door, I could clearly see Luna on the bed, clutching her head, looking like she was in a lot of pain. What's wrong with her? I asked, frowning in confusion. Then my right hand was grasped tightly, so hard it hurt. When I turned my head, I met Sophia's eyes directly. She looked jealous, the corners of her eyes drooping slightly, a thoroughly pitiful expression. The nurse beside us glanced at me and Sophia, then at Luna in the ward with a look of surprise. Finally, she cleared her throat softly and said, Ms. Moore's car accident last night injured her head. It's not life-threatening, but the blood clot in her skull is pressing on things and could affect her nerves, possibly causing memory confusion. Based on our observations, that condition may already have appeared. That didn't surprise me much. After all, I already knew something far more shocking. Memory confusion is nothing. What's terrifying is that Luna, like me, had been reborn. At the thought that such a woman had come back too, the long smoldering hatred I had calmed flared up again, and my body trembled slightly with it. Ethan! I looked up and saw Sophia watching me with concern. I shook my head and turned to the nurse. How long until the blood clot disappears? The nurse nodded. Without surgery, it should resolve in about a month. And with surgery? Mr. Johnson, a craniotomy carries some risks. The doctors recommend conservative treatment and waiting for the clot to dissipate. I cast a cold glance at Luna inside. Then make arrangements for the craniotomy. The sooner the better. Money is no problem. I'll go pay right away. Sophia zuckelt, ich glänzte her. Her mouth curved slightly now, looking as if she'd gotten some great advantage. Seeing me look, she even squeezed my finger, all tenderness. After the nurse, looking puzzled, left, the two of us went into the ward. Luna heard us and looked toward the door. In the next moment, she clutched her forehead and cursed angrily. Ethan, you damn scumbag. You're two-timing me. My head hurts so much. She shook her head. Ethan, what are you standing there for? Hurry up and come rub it for me. I watched coldly and didn't move an inch. Sophia, as if afraid I actually would go over, held on tight and leaned against me, afraid I'd move. Luna, this is my boyfriend. Don't play crazy. You're out of chances, understand? Sophia smiled triumphantly and, in front of Luna, planted a loud kiss on my face. Luna went berserk and screamed, Ethan, you're my boyfriend and you dare see other women behind my back? I'm not dead yet. Come here. Ethan, let's go. We won't speak to idiots. Sophia tugged me, looking displeased. The hospital was indeed efficient. After I kindly paid Luna's craniotomy fee, $200,000, they arranged the surgery without a word. Of course, I also carefully selected the chief surgeon. I deliberately, kindly chose the least experienced surgeon, an intern who had just been made permanent. Unfortunately for her, the operation turned out fairly successful. A week after the surgery, the hospital called and told me to come by. On the bed, Luna was no longer raving with impotent fury. She seemed much clearer. When she saw me enter the ward, an emotion flickered across her face. Ethan, are you back too? I found a comfortable spot on the sofa and sat down. Yes, I'm back. Luna clenched her fists and bowed her head slightly. Although you died before me, I returned before you. This time, I have no relationship with you at all. Ethan, why? Didn't you love me? Seeing Luna in a daze, I laughed out loud. Are you asking why I won't agree this time? Why I won't keep doing everything for you? Luna froze. Embarrassment briefly crossed her face. I pretended not to notice and continued. Luna, you really are selfish. You abandoned everything to chase your white moonlight, said you'd kill yourself, and everyone believed you loved Leo. You died for Leo, and I was made out to be the homewrecker. Everyone turned on me. I was attacked by your fans and ended up dead. Why should I, after 2 lives, still love you and keep sacrificing for you? Be your bootlicker. I'm sorry. Luna showed a guilty expression. I had no hesitation. No. Seeing the pain on Luna's face, I suddenly wanted to make her suffer more. You were willing to die for Leo. Now that you've been reincarnated, go and pursue your true love properly. Don't come bother me. You're bad luck to me. Luna's eyes brightened, but I quickly added, however, you just had surgery. You probably don't have time to sort out your thoughts, right? Let me remind you, your first love Leo despises you for being poor. You're not good enough for him, and he's already gone abroad. Each word was like a knife, stabbing hard into Luna's heart. Oh, and remember to pay back the $200,000 surgery fee. After that, Luna never came to find me again. I focused on my studies, and in my spare time I would cuddle and date Sophia. Life felt satisfying and full. In the blink of an eye, Valentine's Day arrived. I had originally wanted to take Sophia out, but because of rain and snow we moved the date to home. We washed and chopped vegetables together, planning to eat a steaming Western stew on this cold winter night. Halfway through the meal, Sophia handed me a box, her face shy. Ethan, this isn't our first Valentine's Day together, but this is the first Valentine's Day that's just ours and belongs only to us. Every Valentine's Day, from now on, we'll spend together. Suddenly the doorbell rang. I put down the box in my hands. Just as I was about to get up, Sophia pressed my shoulder and went to open the door. After a while of no movement, I stood up suspiciously. What's wrong? Who's? Sis? What are you doing here? Olivia was standing at the door now, eyes wide as she stared at Sophia. When she heard me speak, Olivia clapped her hands. Great Valentine's Day, candlelight dinner, roses, what a big surprise. You? Sophia, when did you make a move on my brother? Rabbits don't graze near their burrows. Olivia shoved Sophia aside and glared at her fiercely. Get out. I'll settle this later. A few minutes later, Olivia took a seat. After taking 2 bites of food, she finally looked at us. Come on, tell the truth. What's going on and when did you 2 get together? Sophia opened her mouth, but Olivia glared her into silence. Ethan, tell your sister, did Orangey force you into this? No. I glanced at Sophia, who was sweating, and shook my head. Then I properly explained to Olivia about me and Sophia. Her expression softened a bit after listening. Still, she hummed, called Sophia into another room, and didn't come back for about 15 minutes. Cease. Reborn into this life, no one knows how much I wanted to make up for the familial love I'd owed in my previous life. Back then I was blind, and with Luna, my sister disapproved. As a woman, she could naturally see that Luna didn't truly love or care for me. But I'd yelled at her to mind her own business. I still remember the hurt in my sister's eyes, and to this day, I feel guilty whenever I see her. I deserve to die. My sister has always acted out of love for me. I was just foolish and blinded by false love, trying to awaken a useless soul with a sincere heart. After Olivia found out about me and Sophia, of course this couldn't be kept from Clara. On New Year's festival we planned to return to the capital. Compared with my sister's shock and anger, Clara seemed more composed, or rather, satisfied. In Clara's words, Orangey grew up with you and knows you well. Ethan, if you're with her, Aunt Margaret and I can be at ease. When asked when we would get married, before I could refuse, Sophia spoke for me. Aunt Clara, we're not in a hurry. Ethan's focusing on his studies right now. Besides, Olivia isn't settled yet. Ethan and I aren't in a rush. Olivia, seeing she'd been outdone while lying there, stuffed a piece of cake into Sophia's mouth. Here, eat up. You worry too much. Speaking of Olivia, it's worth mentioning that in this life, perhaps because the upheaval caused by Dylan didn't happen, Olivia ended up with a different outcome with her originally loveless arranged fiancé, the eldest son of the White family, Noah. Noah is proud and refuses to be tied down, but he has good character, a family background like ours, and outstanding abilities. If it weren't for Dylan's appearance, he and Olivia would have been extremely well matched, a handsome man and beautiful woman. In this life, the two of them will be pulled from strangers into an engaged couple relationship. It's said that one night my sister was being hassled while discussing business at a bar and met Noah. Noah had drunk a bit and didn't recognize my sister. He dealt with those bad men for her, and the two of them ended up having a one night. My sister has been avoiding Noah everywhere lately, and she comes to Jiang City whenever she can, which is when she ran into Sophia and me having a candlelit dinner. They're chasing each other, but no one knows when it will lead to anything. After the New Year's celebration, we returned to Jiang City. As the semester neared its end, my coursework got heavier than usual. Once I finished the day's tasks, I finally had time to rest and glanced at my phone. Seeing 3 missed calls that hadn't connected, my gaze cooled. Looking at the most recent text that popped up, I couldn't help but sneer. Ethan, you've been back so many days. I've thought about it. I really wronged you before. I'm in Jiang City now. Can I treat you to a meal? I deleted the message and walked out of the school. But before I could leave the campus, a figure quickly appeared in front of me. Ethan, why aren't you replying to my messages or answering my calls? I looked at Luna coldly. Luna no longer had her former radiance. Her whole appearance was dowdy, and she looked ill. Her family was never well off. Her elderly mother often needed medication. In the last life, she was able to devote herself entirely to the entertainment industry only because I handled everything for her, leaving her without worries. Now, she had been in the industry for over half a year and was only occasionally taking bit parts on sets. But even those gigs aren't available every day, and those meager earnings couldn't cover her current expenses. It wasn't like the last life when I resolved her behind-the-scenes troubles and even asked my mother's friend to sign Luna with a company. There's no denying Luna is attractive, but the entertainment industry is not short of good-looking people. Among them, Luna was only average. Without me, that's as far as she could get. Who do you think you are? You call me, and I'm supposed to pick up? I'm very busy. I sneered. An embarrassed, awkward expression flashed across Luna's face, but quickly she lowered her voice and said, Sorry, Ethan, I just got too anxious, worried something might have happened to you. What danger could happen to me? Luna nodded. Yes, I was overthinking. Ethan, let's talk over there. I booked a table at the Buyue Hotel. As if sensing I was about to refuse, she added, We haven't really talked since we met again. Also, last time you helped arrange the surgery for me. I haven't had a chance to thank you, Ethan. Half an hour later, I followed Luna into the private room she had reserved. Looking at the room, I chuckled a little and said, The private rooms at Buyue Hotel aren't cheap. You're willing to splurge? Luna kindly pulled out the seat for me. Ethan, you deserve something this nice. I was speechless, just smiled and said nothing. Then when Luna was ordering, she wanted me to choose dishes. I crossed my arms and shook my head in refusal. Ethan, I really was despicable before. Actually, you were the one who treated me best. Last life I owed you. I don't expect your forgiveness. I just hope we can stop pretending we don't know each other, okay? A day as husband and wife is worth 100 days of grace. We have no real hatred. It's just that I realized it too late. Luna, Leo really must have given up on you, right? I blurted out suddenly. I saw the carefully feigned, tender expression on Luna's face begin to crack. But quickly she recovered, looking at me with a pained expression. Ethan, how can you think that of me? We were at least married before. We didn't even divorce before he died. In other words, we're still husband and wife now. Luna, after being together so many years, I never really knew you. I was facing a stranger in the guise of my wife. Besides, we're completely unrelated now. Please don't try to play the emotional card with me anymore. It's useless, got it? I patted my knee and suddenly lost my appetite. Ethan, where are you going? I'm not eating this meal. Don't come looking for me again. Before I could reach the doorknob, a strong force came from behind and hugged me from the back. Luna, what are you doing? I won't let go, I won't let go. Ethan, my biggest regret now is that I let your hand slip away last life. Ethan, can't we start over? Whatever you need to forgive me, I'll do it. Luna held me tightly, her lips kissing messily behind my ear and along the back of my neck. I shoved her away, but Luna pressed me down onto a leather sofa at the side. Watching Luna begin to unbutton my clothes, I cursed angrily. Luna, are you insane? We're husband and wife. This is something you and I must fulfill. At this moment, Luna was like a feral lion, her eyes reddened, the look in them overflowing with consuming possessiveness. Ethan, you're mine. Let's have a baby, okay? We'll start over. You still love me, right? Luna, the only reason you're coming after me now is that you can't get by in the film industry anymore, right? In this life without me, you're nothing but trash. I shouted and shoved Luna to the floor. As if I'd exposed her last shred of dignity, an embarrassed expression appeared on her face. Did you think you succeeded last life just on your own? I continued to press the attack. You should know I'm a young master of Johnson Entertainment. Do you know how many connections my status opened up for you last life? Otherwise, with no background like you have, how could you have made it in the industry? Why would they give all those good resources to a rookie like you? The entertainment world isn't short of pretty faces. Who do you think you are? Without me, you're nothing. Do you understand? No, this isn't true. Clearly, they valued me as a person. You're lying to me. You must be lying. I sneered and kept crushing her negligible pride. From the beginning, Leo didn't go abroad because I stole some opportunity for further study. He simply didn't want you. You're that useless. It was only because I was blind back then that I chose you, understand? No, this can't be possible. You lied to me the whole time. Luna clutched her head in pain. I snorted coldly and was about to turn and leave when Luna suddenly grabbed me desperately. It's fine. I still have you. Only you are mine now. As long as I get pregnant with your child, my child will be the heir of Johnson Entertainment. The whole company will be mine. I can return to the top. There was a noise at the door, then a voice shouting, "Hurry up and open the door." The private room door was soon opened, and Sophia stood there, panting. Ethan, Luna clearly hadn't expected this turn of events. She stared blankly as the person brought and shoved her down. How could you? Who are you? Let go. Let me go. I'm calling the police to arrest you. Sophia rushed into my arms, her eyes red from crying. Ethan, are you okay? I was so scared. I patted Sophia and comforted her for a long time. Only much later did I coldly look at Luna, who was still struggling and shouting. Luna, since you won't behave, go rot in prison. The Johnson family will make you pay. He's my husband. She's my wife. Our relationship is legal. Legal. Ethan, save me. Save me. Bitch, who gave you the right to hold my husband? Bitch. Luna was dragged away, and soon only Sophia and I remained in the private room. I relaxed a little. Orangey, what are you doing here? A look of embarrassment crossed Sophia's face, but she quickly pinched my arm. You took a call and sneaked out. So you and I were alone together, huh? What? Was I interrupting your good time? I shook my head helplessly and planted a kiss at the corner of Sophia's mouth. After the kiss, I suddenly seemed to remember something and looked at Sophia with some unease. What's wrong? Sophia gave me a displeased look. Did you hear that call I just made? Sophia nodded, not particularly surprised. So, you know I was reborn? I know. Sophia looked at me with concern. So what exactly happened in your last life? Can you tell me? I didn't intend to hide it from Sophia and told her everything. After I finished, Sophia was in tears. Ethan, if I'd come a little earlier, it would have been better. It's not your fault. Besides, don't I already have you now? I tilted my head and thought for a moment. But in my last life, after I was 15, I never saw you again. This time you suddenly came back, and we met. I was pretty surprised at the time." Sophia narrowed her eyes. "I actually wasn't planning to return so soon. I was supposed to come back a year later, but somehow I felt compelled to come back sooner. I delivered Luna to the police station. What I didn't expect was that Luna had another trick up her sleeve. The photos of Luna and me pulling at each other were spread around the school, and the comment section was full of paid trolls frantically stirring up a relationship between me and Sophia. The trolls steered the narrative, unanimously insulting Sophia as a beast who coveted her own student. In an instant, Sophia was thrust into the eye of the storm. Soon, what had only been simmering on social media erupted across the entire internet, catching us completely off guard. Even the principal couldn't withstand the pressure and came to see Sophia, tactfully suggesting that she make a public statement to clarify that she and I were not a couple. What should we do? Otherwise, Sophia cut me off, fiercely kissing me. "I won't break up with you. Not even pretend. I came to Jiangxing University for you in the first place. If you won't allow it, then I'll leave. After fighting so hard to have you, this love should be grand. Let everyone know we're together." I couldn't control Sophia's decision. She acted decisively, quickly resigning from Jiangxing University. She then publicly registered on an international social platform, announced that she was with me, and told the wider online audience about our past. We were both good-looking. This perfect love story, combined with her crazed courage for love, quickly turned the tide. We also gained quite a few fans online. As for Luna, during this time, she was tried and sentenced. She received 3 years. While in detention, she kept clamoring to see me once. I didn't go. In this life, there would be no more chances with her, and I would never meet her again. But to my surprise, Luna killed herself again. She had had suicidal thoughts before, but it's extremely difficult to succeed under such strict conditions in prison. This time she succeeded. The suicide note she left was brought out and once more delivered to me. Open it and look. On a yellowed old sheet, the ink had bled through and could still be made out. "Ethan, I'm dead. I hope in the next life I can arrive before you, so you won't have a chance to refuse me. I love you, Ethan." I snorted twice and fed the paper into the shredder. Luna really was delusional. Did she think rebirth was as easy as buying cabbage? Her love was too cheap. I won't accept it. Even if there's a third life, I'll still keep far away from her. That bitch still wants to take you from me. Sophia stood beside me, jealous and furious. I couldn't help but laugh out loud. Relax, relax, she's dead. Who could take you from me? Then make it official. I want to marry. She's already been married to you once. All right, we'll register. Tomorrow we'll get married.